Welcome to Warhammer Warscroll Review. I am the Twin Coot, and in this video we'll be taking a look at a Fyreslayer's unit, the Auric Runesmiter.
Warscroll Review.
The Auric Runesmiter is the next Fyreslayer unit I'm going to cover. The model's stat wheel is pretty much the same as most other Duardin heroes. 4-inch move, 5 wounds, and a 4-up save. I'm going to skip right over the model's melee weapons, and only mention that the model has a throwing axe, as you'd expect from a Fyreslayer unit. Moving right along to the model's two special abilities. Runic Empowerment is the first one we will discuss. In your hero phase, pick a Fyreslayer's unit within 20 inches, since you obviously gave it the Forge Key, and until your next hero phase, reroll failed wound rolls for the unit. This is a pretty great ability with large units of Volkite Berserkers or Auric Earthguard. The model has another great special ability. This one is called Magma Tunneling. This one allows the Runesmiter and another Fyreslayer unit to deploy in reserves and be set up in a later movement phase. They have to be deployed within 3 inches of each other and over 9 inches away from enemy units. Since Fyreslayers are so slow, this unit is the main way to increase mobility within the faction. Pack a big unit of Volkite Berserkers or Auric Earthguard with your Runesmiter and have them show up exactly where they're needed. Normally, I wouldn't recommend dropping melee units in this manner, but Volkite Berserkers can reroll one of the dice for charges with their musician, and with a character nearby, could even reroll the whole charge roll with a CP. The chances of charging still aren't that reliable, but if you took 2 units doing the same thing, chances are at least one will get in combat the turn they drop. Another advantage is Berserkers are tough and can be dropped in the opponent's way to block charges and otherwise tar pit an enemy. One more advantage to this ability is that it turns 2 drops into 1. Instead of deploying the Auric Runesmiter and another unit, you're deploying them as one, thus decreasing how many drops you have, thereby increasing your chances of deciding who goes first. For these great abilities, you are spending about average as far as infantry-sized support characters. This model is 120 points, which may be a lot considering other Fyreslayer units. In most cases though, the model is likely to make its points back. It's even sometimes recommended to take 2 Runesmiters to bring 2 units in reserves with them. Like all other support characters, keep the Runesmiter screened by a unit of 3 or more models, to both protect him from combat, as well as shooting attacks due to Look Out Sir. Remember the turn you deploy them for Magma Tunneling, the Runesmiter won't be able to augment anyone with Runic Empowerment. This means you don't want to wait too long to drop the pair, because you'd be missing out on half of the model's abilities. Fyreslayers have a few ways to further enhance the effectiveness of our support character. Plenty of the Urgold runes, granted through the Fyreslayer's battle trait, pair well with this model. Rune of Fury further mitigates failed rolls by rerolling 1s to hit. Rune of Searing Heat increases damage by 1 when rolling a 6 to wound. Since you're already rerolling your failed wound rolls, you are just increasing the odds of getting 6s. Remember, both of these abilities affect shooting units, so don't leave Auric Earthguard out of the fun. 2 damage magma pikes are no joke. But the rune that really helps out is the enhanced version of the Rune of Relentless Zeal. This one would increase charge rolls by 4. If you have a melee unit deployed with the Runesmiter, try to activate the pumped up version of this first or second turn. If you do, drop the Runesmiter and melee unit and watch them complete their 9-inch charge with relative ease. Another option if you didn't get the enhanced Rune of Relentless Zeal is Rune of Farsight. This one would increase range of throwing axes by 8 inches. This is a sort of meh ability, but would allow the models to throw their axes the turn they're deployed. If you took Auric Earthguard, they could be shooting both their ranged weapons, which could really put out a hurting on enemy characters. Really, all the runes work well with this model, so which rune you choose will have more to do with the situation and which unit you paired with the Runesmiter. For command traits, only one really seems to synergize well with the Auric Runesmiter. Spirit of Grimnir is used to activate an Urgold rune on a 5-up instead of a 6. It is only once per game, but how many 5s are you going to be rolling? The cool part about this is you can use it after you roll the 5, so you don't have to worry about wasting it on a single bad roll. I'd recommend this one to further increase the chances of activating the enhanced Relentless Zeal rune. I'm skipping right over artifacts because there really aren't any that synergize with the Runesmiter. Some other model will likely be a better candidate for a magic item. As far as unit synergies, the Runesmiter is obviously the support unit, and like I said before, just about any of the Fyreslayer's units benefit from Magma Tunneling. But that doesn't mean there aren't other support units that could pair well with our Smiter's smuggled unit. The often overlooked character, the Auric Runemaster, could have some uses. The model can potentially give +1 attack to units targeting a specific enemy unit. Check out the Warscroll review on more details on getting this to happen. The main idea is to take the Runemaster with the Runesmiter in reserves. Drop them both down within 10 inches of the unit the enemy chose as the Runemaster's target to instantly give the army +1 attack against them. Take another Runesmiter to bring a unit like Auric Hearthguard or Berserkers along for the ride. Giving a unit like Auric Hearthguard +1 attack would make their Magma Pikes some devastating ranged attacks. Don't forget, if you had up Rune of Farsight, the throwing axes would also be dumping on more attacks. Next up, I'm going to touch on combinations with a Warscroll battalion. More specifically, I'm talking about Forge Brethren. This battalion includes an Auric Runesmiter and 3 units of Auric Hearthguard. The Warscroll grants a combat bonus I will skip over because it's not too interesting. The other ability it grants is amazing. Add 1 to save rolls to a unit within 15 inches of a unit of Auric Hearthguard who are within 10 inches of the Runesmiter. It's a bit confusing to say, but it basically turns the Auric Hearthguard into a buffing unit, as long as it's close enough to the Runesmiter. It's also very good in the Age of the Mystic Shield nerf. You could give a Magmadroth character or a unit of Volkite Berserkers with Sling Shields a 3-up save. Volkites are already known for their durability, so this extra save is just icing on the cake. Most of the time this model will be included in a Fyreslayer's army, but if the player had even just 1 good Fyreslayer's unit, the Runesmiter may be worth it. This means the hero isn't useless in an Order Grand Alliance or as an ally, and remains somewhat independent of the rest of the army. Many Fyreslayer players run an Auric Runesmiter, so you're bound to encounter them in your travels. When facing them, prepare for the Magma Tunneling appropriately. If they took Auric Hearthguard with the Runesmiter, don't let them drop within 15 inches of anything too important. If they paired with a Berserker unit, set up your screen and don't rely on them failing that 9-inch charge, since they have a few ways to properly mitigate it. The Auric Runesmiter receives a 4 out of 5. The model is great and offers Fyreslayers exactly what they need: mobility. What do you think of the Auric Runesmiters? What Warscroll would you like seen reviewed next on the channel? Leave your thoughts, questions, and suggestions in the comments below, and thanks for watching.